and welcome to my world. I am, of course, Fred Kasdan. 7 nights a week, you can find me streaming live over on my Twitch channel. That link can be found in the description below. Coming into 2019, I wasn't enthusiastic as a wrestling fan. The WWE most definitely pissed me off in late 2018 with a lot of its creative decisions, and coming into 2019, I was expecting more of the same. Uh, And needless to say, I wasn't let down in terms of expecting more of the same from the WWE, because that's exactly what we got. That company had one bright spot early in the year, well, for most of the year, and that in the form of Becky Lynch, but they dropped the ball with that. From injecting Stephanie McMahon and Charlotte Flair into the build up and for what should have been just a straight up one-on-one match between Becky and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. They fucked that up, and they followed it up with by having Becky feud with a debuting Lacey Evans because they had no one else on the main roster available for Becky to feud with. That would have been a credible challenger from the get-go. Uh, but again, and it was more the same with the rest of that company and what they have given us as wrestling fans. Let's be honest, Seth Rollins is incredibly bland. He doesn't have that personality that that grabs you when he speaks. Matter of fact, there is nobody on the main roster at the moment that has that. Now that I think about it, or on NXT, there is nobody there that has that. When they speak, you're gonna listen, regardless if you like them or hate them. They don't have anybody like that in terms of a male superstar at this point in time. The closest one they probably have to that is the Miz, but they're never gonna let the Miz break out. Uh, in terms of, and we saw that Miz cut that epic quasi shoot promo on Daniel Bryan a couple years ago on that the SmackDown Talking Smack post game show or post show, whatever it is, however it is you want to call it. Yeah, the Miz can go off, can cut epic promos, but they're never going to let him do it. Because you know why? Because he will surpass all the handpicked chosen ones that they've been putting in that spot as they're trying to fill the huge void that was created with John Cena. Okay, moving on. They thought they had something in Roman Reigns, but let's face it, the Roman Reigns experiment failed 4 years ago, but they kept trying with him. But be that as it may. But overall, there's been nothing creatively with the WWE that's been interesting. Then that's been a major failing point. AEW had all the hype in the world. I personally wasn't enthused with it because the the core guys behind it, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega. I was like, okay, they're their personalities are basically reflected in what you see every Wednesday on TNT. It's very inconsistent. It has no true direction. You have an aging Chris Jericho as your prominent world champion, and not much character development for any members of its roster. Its women division is incredibly weak in terms of personality. Not in ring work for in ring work, everyone there is great, but there is just no character. There is no character. There is no personalities that step out, make you go, "Oh, these guys are going to be cool. I want to see how these guys come along to see if they'll turn into anything." They don't have anyone there that does that because as AEW is always going to be the show that's going to focus on the five executive vice president. presidents, particularly for the next year. 2020, you're not going to see any major shakeup there. Moving on, the NWA bringing back studio wrestling. That was a positive. I enjoyed watching the NWA Power episodes on YouTube, following my Tuesday night streams. That's when I watch them. I've enjoyed them, but one thing was painfully made clear, and it's looking back from episode 1 up until stuff more recently. The NWA is not gonna doesn't have any balls. It doesn't is it. They're not going to take any chances, and the key example of that was how they handled the Jim Cornette situation. Because you think they intentionally hired Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette is going to be Jim Cornette, for better or for worse. They knew, everyone knew his reputation. Everyone knows what he does on commentary and how he's going to get guys over. And the fact that they caved in to whining so-called progressive people who don't actually watch their fucking show, that they actually just saw a clip. Yeah, people that was out there targeting, waiting for Cornette to say something and then jump on it. And the NWA proved they're not gonna take any chances. They're not gonna take any risk with any of their characters or their storylines or things of that nature. Or the whole thing with Nick Aldis and Camille and all of that. The whole thing. Oh, it seems like it's pushing the envelope. It's like, no. It's like it's gonna be. It's it's not gonna turn into anything major. It's not gonna. They're gonna play it incredibly safe, and everything they're going to do is going to be incredibly safe. If the WWE if people have a problem with the WWE being PG, well, the NWA is going to be rated G. And mark my words on that. MLW, Major League Wrestling, will be the last one I talk about. Well, I might touch on a couple other things here. MLW coming into 2019 looks like it had all the momentum in the world. Looks like it was going to be it was going to get off to a hot start. It had like the roster that they will bring in the veterans, veterans for big events, battle royals and stuff like that, and had a roster of unique talents that made you go, this looks like it's gonna do something. It looks like it wouldn't be like a major promotion. There's like no way it was gonna break out into being like picked up by another network. It was no, but for what it was like, okay, not quite a super indie like NXT, but not as the drizzling shits like Ring of Honor has become in recent years. But like that happy medium where you had like a unique feel to it with its commentary and presentations. Then it started to feel more and more inconsistent as the year wore on, and and decisions with its roster, or one addition that was highly questionable, that turned out to blow up in their face real quick because, well, let's face it, ACH only wants to be the Colin Kaepernick of the world of professional wrestling. Well, probably congratulations. Drew's probably got now blackballed from every major promotion or major indie promotion in the United States, if not the world at this point. Impact Wrestling, real impossible for me to keep up with on a week to week basis because that's well, it doesn't make any news. There is nothing about it that makes nothing gets reported about Impact Wrestling these days other than the fact that the lawsuit issue with Jeff Jarrett that comes up every couple months or so. There, there. I'm sure they're doing fine, but they're. I No website that I go to is going out of way to push like any major events or storylines that's happening over there. And if it's not something that's being covered on a week to week basis, if like I'm not gonna go on my way to seek stuff out on YouTube just to pull up a random clip. I need like context, and those sites are actually giving. If Impact is basically where Wow Women of Wrestling is in terms of like no one cares. There is no wrestling news site, news and rumor site cares about it anymore. That's where it is, and if I'm not seeing, it's like, okay, this happened here. Okay, give me the details. I'll see if they have something on their official YouTube channel. If that's not coming up, that's what it is. No one cares about Impact Wrestling anymore. That's a shame. So these are the various ways how pro wrestling failed me as a wrestling fan here in 2019. I think more likely in 2020, I'm just not going to bother going forward. I might watch something on occasion. If anything, it'll more likely be the NWA Power because that's just easy to keep up with. And hell, it's only an hour long. But other than that, there's nothing that has me excited as a wrestling fan. But that's just my opinion, and hell, it's my world, and y'all just live in it. But anyway, that'll wrap this up. We'll catch you next time. Tighten your friendship bracelets, watch your hangs down, have a great one, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.